lot of ground to cover. I love this quote by Earl Nightingale. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy goal or ideal. The key word being what? Progressive. Progressive. You want it all right now. And if you get the result, what are you going to do with it? Right. What most people don't understand, results are temporary. As soon as you achieve it, it's what? Gone. So you get to savor it for a minute, a day, a week, and then life keeps coming at you. So again, love this quote. What we're talking about when it comes to goal setting and business planning, we're talking about the gap. And specifically, the gap between where you want to be and where you are now. So here you are, getting set to end the year, begin a new year. And as you start making plans for the new year, there's going to be a gap, yes or no? Here you are now, and we typically set a goal over here. And the whole issue is, how do we close this gap? How do you fill the gap? And how do you show up in this gap? Because that's what most of 2018, you're going to be where? You're going to be in the gap. That's where you're going to be. Until the last day of the year, then you start what? A new gap. And I was thinking about this. So how do you show up in this gap? It's interesting. You have to be clear and definite about what you want. At the same time that you're clear and definite, you have to have the ability to let go and not be attached to the outcome. You have to be able to do both things. Be clear and definite about what you want, and then have the ability to let go and not be attached to the outcome. In this gap, you have to be passionate about what you want, and at the same time be calm and steady. You have to have a real sense of urgency, and at the same time you have to be incredibly patient. Urgency means you're doing everything that you can today. That's what having a real sense of urgency is all about. We're not wasting today. We're not saying to ourselves, oh, I can do it tomorrow. It can be done today, and it's important you do it today. You have to be incredibly focused on what you're doing, and at the same time, you've got to be open to opportunity. You have to have a short-term focus on what you're doing. Why? Because today is the only day that you can actually do something. At the same time, the things that you're doing today are to do what? Create a better future. Do you see the contrast? Yes or no? I have to be clear and definite. At the same time, I have to have the ability to let go and not be attached to the outcome. I have to be incredibly passionate. However, I also need to be calm and steady. You have to be able to do all of this. It's the integration of this. It's not one side or the other. It's how things come together. So, the book that is my Bible is The Science of Getting Rich. I've probably read that book 100 times over. I read it over and over and over. What I love about that book, same with any book, you can just pick up one page, it will instantly change my vibration. Any page, any passage. Some of my favorite things, I've said that an individual gets rich by doing certain things in a certain way. If you want to succeed, it can only happen by doing. Success doesn't happen by itself. You have to do something in order to create success. Do you understand that? You've got to take action. In order to do so, in order to do certain things in a certain way, in order to do so, a person must become able to think in a certain way. You just saw an example of that up on stage. They think in a certain way. Yes or no? And because they think in a certain way, then they act in a certain way. So again, in order to act in a certain way, you must be able to think in a certain way. A person's way of doing things is a direct result of how he thinks about things. The doing follows the thinking. The doing follows the thinking. To do things in a way you want to do them, you will have to acquire the ability to think the way you want to think. In order to do things in a certain way, you have to think in a certain way. And all of you have the ability, the inherent ability to think whatever you want to think. That's one of the beauties of being human. We have the ability to think whatever we want to think. To think what you want to think is to think truth. Truth in the sense of what you truly desire. To think what you want to think is to think truth regardless of appearances. To think according to appearances is easy. That's where most of you are thinking right now. You're thinking based on your current reality. Your current reality dominates your thought process. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. Up here you saw something very different. Their thought process is dominated by what they desire, not their current reality. To think truth, regardless of appearances, is laborious and requires the expenditure of more power than any other work a person has to perform. You need to read that 1,000 times. The hardest work you're going to do to achieve your goals, the hardest work is mentally. Mentally. And if you're being honest with yourself, how much time do you spend mentally thinking every day about what you want to think? How much time do you actually spend? Any? That's what meditation is all about. Meditation gets you thinking in a certain way. It's actually the absence of thought. Meditation is all about awareness. You truly get in contact with who you really are and what you're really capable of. Not distracted by all the thoughts that you have in your head. There is no labor from which most people shrink as they do from that of sustained and consecutive thought. It is the hardest work in the world. To think truth every single day, regardless of appearances, is the hardest work in the world. I can almost guarantee most of you, when you're setting your plan for next year, you're not even taking into account the mental part of what you have to do every day. You're thinking about how many people you have to talk to, what are you going to say, what are you going to do, systems. You're missing the most important piece. There is no labor from which most people shrink as they do from sustained and consecutive thought. It is the hardest work in the world. This is the piece that you're missing. This is the critical piece. This is especially true when truth is contrary to appearances. I could stand up here all day and just say this over and over and over again. That's how many times you need to hear it. The three things that you must get in alignment, that you must integrate, are thought, emotion, and action. We actually have two minds. We have our thinking mind and our emotional mind. Both the thinking mind and the emotional mind impact what we do, our actions. And the piece that's actually, the part of the mind that actually has more impact on your action is your emotion. Santiago said it. You have to emotionalize your goals. You have to feel your goals. You can't just think them. You have to feel them. It's absolutely critical. You heard Jeffrey talking about feeling it, tasting it, smelling it, touching it. Again, this is not something that most of you spend time doing every day. Yes or no? You heard Jeffrey talk about before he even cooks the meal. He can see it, feel it, taste it, touch it before it's even there. If you don't align your thought, your emotion, and your action, you're going to be all over the place. This is so important. All of you came here today because you had one question. Right, Denise? Do I put my picture on my business card? And you come here month after month hoping for that answer. Because you know when you finally get the answer to that question, your business is going to explode. One day I promise to answer that question. I will. This is the key here. Can you get your thought, your emotions, and your actions in alignment? Most of you, if not all of you, you react to your emotions. That's why you're not doing the things that you need to do every day. Because when we're reacting to our emotions, we don't want to do the tough stuff, correct? We want to do the things that are comfortable. We want to do the things that are easy. We want to do the things that are interesting. We want to do the things that are fun. That's what our emotions get us to do. And that's why you have to learn to apply intelligence to your emotions. You have to learn to think as if, believe as if, and act as if. If you want to achieve your goals, you have to think as if, you have to believe as if, and then you will act as if. And if you can't do this, you're not going to achieve your goals. This is thinking according to the truth, not appearances. You just saw two incredible examples of individuals who think as if, believe as if, and act as if. Conor McGregor, before he fought Floyd Mayweather, I was watching a video, and he said something that just stood out to me. I've shared it before. He said, "I want nothing. I have everything. I want nothing. I have everything." Because if he wants it, what does he do? He owns it. He owns it. If he wants something, then he owns it, both mentally and emotionally. And then all that's left is what? Do the work. No, just do the work. It's already happened. He doesn't have to make it happen. It's already happened. See, and that's the difference. Most of you are out there every day trying to make it happen. And as long as you continue to try to make it happen, you're just going to continue to try. You've got to take ownership up here and in here. It's yours. Done. Completed. Now I just do what? And I don't have any fear why, or doubt why, or worry why. It's done. It's done. I own it. I am it. Who's got a big goal for 2018? All right, Sebastian, it's your day. Stand up. Give me the big goal. The big goal is earn 200,000 by the end of 2018. 200,000. By the end of January? By the end of December 31st. I said the big goal. What's the big goal? So if you want to earn 200,000 in 2018, you have to take ownership of it today. You have to be that person. You have to be that person who makes that money. You have to think that way, feel that way, act that way, starting right now. Not when you get there, starting now. That's how you have to close the gap, mentally, emotionally, physically. And that is the hardest work in the world. You have to see if you can sit and actually take ownership of it. Not hope, not wish, not want, own it. That's where you have to be. And this is the big question for each and every one of you. Is your why bigger than your why not? Is your why bigger than your why not? For most of you, your why not is way bigger than your why. Every day, your why not is winning that battle. And I'm not talking intellectually, I'm talking emotionally. And this is why meditation is so important. Meditation will connect you with your why, your emotional why, not your intellectual why, your emotional why. Your why is inside you. It's already there. You have to tap into it. Not figure it out, it's already there. That's what meditation does. And these guys, they have a why. You heard Jeffrey talking about it. His why is his non-negotiables. That's his why. Those are the things that must happen. Those are the things that must happen. Non-negotiable. All of you should be thinking about that. You need to write that down. What are my non-negotiables? What are the things that must happen? And that's the result of going in and getting connected to what's most important to you. And until your why is bigger than your why not, you're fucked. My one F-bomb for the day. Feels so good. Meditation. How many of you have flirted with the idea of meditating? What the hell is it, right? I sit there, close my eyes. What's going to happen? get the app Headspace or whatever app, guided meditation, start with 10 minutes a day, will absolutely change your life. Absolutely change your life. If you're not doing it now, that would be one big suggestion for 2018. Meditation is the practice of you connecting to you. Marianne Williamson has a great quote. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us. You need to tap into that power that is you. And meditation is the gateway to doing that. All right. Any thoughts, comments, questions around that? Your name?
Alicia Brown. If you consider a night person, you consider yourself a night person, what is the difference between doing meditation in the morning or at night? If that's yours.
You can do it whenever you want. You can do it whenever. Caveat, I'm not an expert. I do it whenever I do it. I don't have a set time that I do it. What I think is important is that you take the time every day, whenever it is. And again, the app makes it real simple. And I started out doing 10 minutes, then they have 20 minutes, and now I don't use the app at all, and I do my own thing. There's not a right or wrong way. However, I challenge all of you to make the effort.
There's also a great place on Wilshire Boulevard in West.
Yeah, and I keep begging you to take me there, and you just, it's...
Come and you keep shooting me down.
Go ahead.
Because you're mad.
What's it called?
Photo I'm going to put on my card. It's called Unplug Meditation, and it's really, they do guided meditations. It's like doing a yoga class, except for it's all meditations, all set up. You don't need to bring anything. It's beautiful.
I meditate a lot. I've been meditating for years. One of the things that really helped me when I first started, in the morning when I'm taking my shower, I visualized all the water just sort of cleansing me for the day and getting me ready to go. And I took that time when I was showering and doing something I was already doing to just be quiet and get myself pumped for the day. And then at the end of the day, I also envisioned that shower taking away all the crap of the day and resetting me for going to bed and getting focused and really like charging up to get ready to go, which is, I was like,
The other thing I'll mention about meditation, from my point of view, it's about learning to be present, to actually be in the moment, right? One of the things when I meditate, I want to be right there in that. What does it feel like in that moment? To be still in that moment and just to feel that moment. In life, it's always about what's next. We're doing something, however, we're thinking about what's next, what's next, what's next. With meditation, there is no what's next. It's what's now. And learning to be present, that's what the power of now is all about, learning to be present. That's the only place you can do anything. Can't do anything in the past, can't do anything in the future.
So part of that and being present, and how do you be present but then let go and be unattached? Because, we're talking about the big scope. It's like you want to be in the moment now, but you want to also have that plan in mind. So how do you not think about the plan while you're in the moment?
Because the plan is part of you. It's inside you. You're already there. You're being the person who has achieved that goal. You're not striving to get there. All you're doing is the work. This is not that complicated. You're in real estate. I can sit down in 30 seconds and I can tell you exactly what you need to do. Then all you have to do is do that every day by being present. You don't have to worry about, is it going to work? Or what do I have to do next? We've already mapped it out. We've already decided what you need to do. Now you just need to go do it. However, what we don't get clear about what we want, we don't have a plan, and so we're showing up every day reacting to what's going on, and we live in this constant state. It's called hell. The waiting, hoping, praying, chasing paradigm of real estate. That's a different version of hell. That's all it is. And that's where most agents are every single day. It's a living hell. Because they got into the business we're talking about, Santiago was talking about, get-rich-quick mindset. Now, how many of you grew up? How many of you grew up saying, I want to be a real estate agent? That's what I want to be. How many grew up? It's typically not the first career for most agents. Yes or no? We've tried 5 or 6 things. We failed at them all. However, we still have the hope of making money. And we look at real estate and we go, perfect. I like houses. I like people. I like money. Damn, why didn't I think of this before? Get to be my own boss. I got freedom and flexibility. I can come and go what I want. I sell one home. I make like $25,000. This is great. And that's why 98% of the people get into this business. Pure fantasy. Yay, nay? All right. Mindset. Learning to understand and regulate your emotions. This is the work that you need to work on more than anything else. This is the hard part. Let's get into the easy part. What you actually have to do. Here are the numbers, just so you understand the numbers. On average, the people I'm coaching, they're making 18 contacts a day. 18 contacts a day. On average, it's taking them 294 contacts to generate a sale. So remember, math is not what? An opinion. Math is not an opinion. The math says if you're doing what the average person's doing who's involved in my coaching programs, there it is. 18 contacts a day, 294 contacts to generate a sale, 16 deals a year. That's average. Now you have to look at where are you relative to that average. And is that why you're here in life, to be average? How many of you wake up every day and say, my goal today is to be average? That's all I want. As long as I'm average, I'm okay. If that's what you're shooting for, there you go. Following me? Here's how the business breaks down. 65% of your business is repeat and referral, 20% prospecting, less than 10% marketing, social media, all that stuff. That's the breakdown. Again, this is math. This is not an opinion. Now, your math may be a little bit different. However, this is how business is being generated. So we might want to focus where, ladies and gentlemen? Repeat and referral business. People that we know. Chasing after online leads. That's what all of you want to do, right? If I only had the budget to go out and spend thousands of dollars on Zillow every month, I would be set. Bullshit. You're chasing after a very small part of the market. You and everyone else who's buying those same exact leads. That's not the answer. Know these numbers. Know these numbers and know these numbers. Understand that. This is hard data. Any questions around that?
These numbers are all from people that you're coaching. These are your averages.
Right.
You're missing 5%. Where would you allocate that other 5%?
Who cares? I'm not focused on it.
Steve, I'm shocked prospecting is only 20%.
I'm not. Well, it doesn't mean that you have to prospect, repeat, and referral too. You know, that we're talking doors, open house, that's what's in people you don't know. Say it again. Well, as a new agent, when I was new in real estate, I wasn't from California. I didn't know anyone. So all I did all day long was prospect. So if you don't have a database, if you don't have a big sphere, if you don't know a lot of people, then the choice is prospect. Does that answer your question? And by the way, Peter Lorimer sends his regards to everyone. He's out shooting his program on Netflix. And so he'll be out shooting this month, January, February, and he'll be back after that. Wanted to make sure he knows that all you know he didn't disappear. So real estate is not rocket science. You hear me say that all the time. This is not rocket science. Whatever dollar amount you want to make, I can tell you how to do it. It'll take me less than 5 minutes. Take me less than 5 minutes. I can give you the plan. And it's mind-boggling to me. It's so mind-boggling. So last night, I love this experience last night. So I have a client last night. I've been working with her probably 5 years. You know who you are if you're watching today. So this is an agent who is incredibly bright, incredibly creative, incredibly hardworking. However, for 5 years, on every single coaching call for 5 years, she asked me my favorite coaching question. 5 years. What else can I do? What else can I do? And for 5 years, my answer has been the same. Prospect. That's what you can do. Yeah, I know, but what else can I do? I said, prospect. That's what you can do. I know, but come on, give me something else. What else? Prospect. She goes bananas all the time because she always wants to be doing something else. 5 years, every week. I love you. You know who you are. And she does really well. She does really well. However, she doesn't prospect. So this year, what she did do, though, is she put all her numbers into the performance coaching website, all her sales. So now we have some really hard data on her. And her goal next year is to make $1 million. Her average sales price is $1.1 million. And that's not based on fiction, that's based on fact, what actually happened this year. 70% of her business is listings sold. That's a fact. 30% buyer sides. 90% of her listings will sell. Fact, not fiction. Contact to sale ratio, I had to put a number in there. Why? Because she doesn't prospect and she doesn't track her contacts. So knowing who she is and knowing what she's capable of, that was my best guess. 100 contacts per sale. Percentage of listing appointments that convert to a listing taken, 80%. Fact. Average fee she charges 2.9%. Fact. Split with a company, works for KW, cap of 30,000, comes out to a 95% split. She's going to work 5 days a week. This year, she's going to prospect 5 days a week. Works 10 hours a day, 44 weeks out of the year. So outside of one number, this is all fact. And what it comes down to, this is technology at its finest. She's got to talk to how many people a day? Huh? 15. So when she asks me, what else can I do? My response will be what? Talk to 15 people a day and what? Put your numbers into the website so in 3 months to 6 months we'll know exactly what her contact to sale ratio is. And once we have that number, then here's the formula right here. She will no longer have to ask me, what else should I do? Why? Why? Because there's the answer. That's why. And each and every one of you in this room could have the same answer. All of you can have it. You like to make it interesting, right? You want the action thriller. You want the suspense novel. You want the mystery. You don't want to know the outcome, correct? This is funny stuff. You should be laughing. True or false? Man, all of you, Bill Baker, I want results, I want results, I want results. Track your numbers, and then what are we going to know? We're going to know exactly what you need to do to get the result that you want, and then all you need to do is what? Do it and measure it every day and make sure that everything is where we think it is. And as long as we keep doing it every day, then we don't have to worry about what? The result. The thing that we're not going to know is the timing. That's the only thing we're not going to know. What we know is where we're going to end up. We just don't know how it's going to happen. And yet somehow, 20 years, 20 plus years, I can't get this message in your heads. I literally am the worst real estate coach in the world. Because I have the answer, but no one gets it. Shame on me. Stone me. Any questions around that? Yes, no? Excuse me? Free. Free. It takes you how long to answer those questions on the left-hand side? 2 minutes at most. And then you have a plan. And the plan is based on what you actually do. And within a year, at most, you'll have your numbers. Over 10 years, what do you have? 10 years of data. Then you really know your numbers. We can take the guesswork out of this business. Oh, but there's a catch. And the catch is what? You actually have to do the work. Not wait, not hope, not pray, not chase. All of you are addicted to that stuff. We love that stuff, right? We love waiting. It feels so good to wait. We love hoping. My God, I love to hope. And praying, oh, I feel so good when I pray. And chasing, so adventurous. Not knowing whether it's going to happen or not. Love the thrill of the hunt. It's a beautiful thing. Why would I give that up for achieving my goal? Come on. When I say it's not rocket science, what do I mean by that? It's not rocket science. That's what I mean. Know your numbers. Know your numbers. Plan your work and work your plan. There it is. Can all go home now. So here's the big question. Why real estate? Why are you in this business? Why are you in this business? Why do you do what you do? Why do you get out of bed every day and go to work and sell real estate? Why? Why do you do it? Love this quote. Work is love made visible. Work is love made visible. That's what you're doing. Making love every day when you go to work. How many of you think of it like that? What if you did? What if you did? And the ultimate goal, what you're striving for. I read this the other day. I was like, wow. Never heard it said this way before. True success is when doing good matches up with doing well. I love that. When doing good matches up with doing well. Doing good is defined by doing high quality work that produces something of use to others. And doing well, achieving success and professional advancement. I love that definition. Doing good things and doing well because of it. Isn't that what we're trying to do here? Doesn't that summarize it? Yes or no? I'd have that in front of me every day. Every day. Every day. Every day. So the question is real estate a job? Is that what real estate is to you? Is it a job? Or is real estate a career? Or is real estate a calling? Is it a job? Is it a career? Is it a calling? Which is it? This is the first question you need to answer as you make your plans for the new year. Is it a job? Is it a career? Is it a calling? If it's a job, you have a short-term perspective on what you're doing. It's all about paying the bills today. Yes or no? All you're trying to do is get through the day, get your bills paid. That's called a job. If you take a longer-term perspective, now we're looking at it as a career. This is something that we're doing long-term. We want to build something that has value and meaning. Yes or no? Or are you just obsessed with what you do every day? It's what you think about. It's what you talk about. It's what you live, what you breathe, what you act on. That's the way I feel about coaching. It's not a job. It's not a career. It's an obsession. I think about this all day long. All day long. All day long. There's not a right or wrong answer. You just need to be clear. Is it a job? Is it a career? Or is it a calling? Which is it? Which is most true for you? And if it's a job, is that okay? Are you okay? Because this is a pretty crappy job. I've got news for you. It's an incredible career. And for those of you who it's a calling, doesn't make a difference. It's your calling. You don't have a choice. Great question to look at. Which is it? So as we get set to go through our plan, think of your business plan as a blueprint for taking your ideas and turning them into your reality. That's why we write a plan. How are we going to go from A to B? Everyone clear about that? Most people don't want to go through this process. Why? Why? Because it takes me away from waiting, hoping, praying, and chasing. It takes me away from my job. It takes me away from trying to pay the bills. That's reality. The reason why we don't want to do it is our why not is much bigger than our why. So the first thing we want to do is we want to evaluate 2017. Where did I make progress? Where did I stay the same? Where did I take a step backward? Where did I make progress? Where did I stay the same? Where did I take a step backward? You need to take the time to think about this year. Because if you don't do this evaluation, all you're going to do is repeat this year, next year. That's all you're going to do. And we just go from year to year to year. And at the end of 20 or 30 years, all we have done is 1 year, 20 or 30 times over. We haven't gotten any better. We haven't grown. We haven't evolved. We've just done the same year over and over and over and over again. And we get the same result, plus or minus 10% every year. Who wants to sign up for that program? The plus or minus 10% program. Well, then take the time. You heard me ask, what were the lessons learned in 2017? What was 2017 trying to teach you? Newsflash. The same lesson it was trying to teach you in 2016 that you ignored. The same lesson from 2015 that you ignored. In 2014, in 2012, in 2011. Life keeps teaching you the same thing over and over again until you what? Pay attention and learn. It's not a mistake if you learn from it. It is a mistake if you don't learn from it. Most of you keep making the same mistake over and over and over again. I'll show the universe. I can practice insanity every day. I can do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. I can do that. How many of you sign up for that program? I'm just going to keep doing the same thing over and over again until I get a different result. Tell me you're not on that treadmill, yes or no? I'm consistent. He always tells me consistency is good. What's the one most important change you want to make in 2018? And I'd love all of you to have a theme or mantra going into the new year. What's this year going to be about? What's your theme? What's your mantra? What's that little thing in your head that you can hit that will trigger the emotion at any time? Next question. Which phase of business best describes you? Waiting, hoping, praying, chasing, setting the foundation, you're expanding the foundation, or riding the wave. That's where you've activated the compound effect. Momentum is working for you in the right way. Where are you? Which phase of business are you in? It's important to know. It's not a function of how many years you're in the business. You could be in the business 30 years and you're still trying to set the foundation. In fact, that's where most agents are. What kind of year is 2018 going to be? Again, when it comes to goal setting, people are always going, oh, I'm just going to increase my goals. I just want to increase. I just want to increase. I didn't hit my goal last year, but I'm going to increase it anyway this year. There's some good logic for you. Is this a startup year? Is it a rebound year? Is it a rebuilding year? Is it solidify your current level of production? Is it a transition year? Is it a growth and expansion year? Is it a scale back and simplify? What kind of year are you looking to have in 2018? You actually have to think. Melanie, what kind of year do we have to have next year? What kind of year are we looking to have next year? A rebound year. 2017, flush. Forget that one. That one didn't happen. And sometimes that's what you have to do. Flush it down the toilet. Let it go. Not every year works out the way you want it to. So get clarity. What kind of year? What do you want to accomplish in 2018? Everybody write down, what is your income goal for 2018? Write it down right now. Write it down. What is your income goal? Rule number one, be clear and what? Definite. Be clear and definite. Income goal, transaction goal, closed sales volume, listings taken, listing appointments, contacts, time off, client experience, or any other goal you want. You've got to be clear and definite about what you want to accomplish in the new year. And your resistance to doing this is what? What's the resistance? Come on. Everybody stand up. Let's go. Stand up. Come on, stand up. Stretch it out. Come on. No bathroom breaks here. Training, this is mental toughness training. When you're outdoor knocking, you don't get to pee on the front lawn. Sit down. What's the resistance to going through this exercise? You got to do work, and then you have to be accountable. So if I don't do this, then I don't have to do the work, and I don't have to be accountable. Everybody got a number? Yes or no? That's your kitty number. I want to know what your big boy or big girl number is. All right? Whatever you're thinking, it's way too small. I can almost guarantee it. Whatever number you wrote down is way too small. I would challenge you to see if you can't think bigger. Napoleon Hill has a great quote: "What the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve." And the one thing about the human mind, we do not desire things that we don't have the ability to make happen. We do not truly desire what we're not capable of making happen. So as big as you can think, not wish, as big as you can think, that's what you're capable of achieving. That's what you're capable of achieving. Challenge yourself. Stretch yourself. See how big you can think. All right, let's tighten it up some more. These are the questions you need to be going through as you get ready for the new year. What is your target market and why? Is it geographic? Is it people? Is it a type of property? Is it a price point? Is it some specialty or niche? What is your target market, or what are your target markets? What are they and why? Are you going to expand your target markets in 2018? If yes, how? Jeff Bebach, Jeff, say hello to everybody. Jeff and I are going to talk about a little program here to help you do this specifically. How are you going to deepen your connection to your target market in 2018? What did we learn earlier? Where's the business coming from? How many of you would like to deepen your connection to where your business comes from? Yes or no? How many of you farm in a geographic area? How many of you would like to deepen your connection to that geographic area? Yes or no? What if you actually had a way to do that on a consistent basis, outside of door knocking? Or in addition, better yet, to door knocking? Would you be interested? Yes or no? Yes or no? Why? Why? You go out knocking on doors every day. Would you like another way to create more connection with those doors? Would you? Are you sure? Okay. Very important right here. Who is your ideal client and why? Who is your ideal client and why? And what are you going to do to attract more ideal clients in the new year? Anyone getting a headache yet? Yes or no? Oh my God, he's going to make me think. What is your value proposition? What is your competitive advantage to both buyers and sellers? Newsflash, who's coming after your business? Everyone. Everyone wants those commission dollars. And those everyone companies, what is their value proposition? Why pay more when you can get the same service or better for a whole lot less? I mean, Purple Bricks will do your job for what? $2,300, $32, whatever it is, flat fee, and they will do a way better job than you. Why? Because they said so. It's on their website. Now, the fact that they only have 5 agents in Southern California, and 4 of those 5 don't sell houses, details, Steve, details. They're only charging what? $2,300. How bad can it be? How bad could it be? It's only my house. It's only the biggest financial investment I have. Why not give them a whirl? What could go wrong? And guess what? If you don't know what your value proposition is, and you don't know what your competitive advantage is, they are going to take more and more and more of your business every single day. Because they're getting better and better at getting the message out there, why pay more? Get the same service or better for less. They're pounding that message into the marketplace every single day. And you already have the public which thinks they can do your job better anyway, right? They just don't have the time or inclination. And so they love hearing this message. I don't want to pay more. I want to pay less. I could do it on my own. And hell, with all the technology and tools these companies have, now I can do it. Do you understand that that is happening to you? Yes or no? Or are you in la la land? It's happening every single day. And they've got millions of dollars to back them up. What do you have? You better have your value proposition, your competitive advantage. You need to be clear about that. And how are you going to create more value for your clients in 2018? You need to answer these questions. Critical. What is your story? Why do you matter? Why should people care about what you do? How many of you could get up here right now and answer those 3 questions in a very precise, compelling way? How many of you have an elevator pitch? I'm not seeing a lot of hands go up. Is your plan to sell more homes in 2018? If so, how? Is your plan to raise your price point? If so, how? Is your plan to raise your commission? If so, how? Is your plan to grow your staff or team? These are the 4 ways that you make more money. Either sell more homes, or raise your price point, or raise your commission, or grow your team. Which ones are going to be, or all 4? And how? How? What are your core strategies? Prospecting, connecting people, property, and possibility, agent to agent, brand awareness, service. What is your business model for generating business? For how many of you is your core strategy prospecting? How many of you? How many connecting people, property, and possibility? How many agent to agent? How many brand awareness? You only get 1. How many of you service? You need to be clear what your core business strategy is. That's what you do to create business. And so you've got to get better at doing it. What is job 1? And how are you building your day around job one. Job one, for most of you, is talking to people. That's job one. And you need to build your day around it. Build your business around it. Do you have any staffing issues you need to address in 2018? Yeah, get one. Remember, if you don't have an assistant, you are an assistant, and you're paid like one. Do you have any systems issues you must address in 2018? Contact management, marketing, listing management, buyer management, transaction management, client communication, business tracking, financial. Any of these systems that you need to address, all of them. Everything in your business should be checklist driven. Now is a great time. Between now and January 15th, take the time to review your checklist. If you don't have one, now would be a good time to start. Do you have any service issues you must address in 2018? What work habits are you going to put into play in 2018? Number one suggestion would be what? Prospecting. It's amazing to me. On November 1st, we started the 90-day prospecting challenge. I had 40-odd people sign up, pay $1,000 to be part of the challenge for 90 days. The goal, real simple. Make your contacts, get better at your scripts and dialogues, and track your numbers. 3 simple things. Develop the habit, master your scripts and dialogues, track your numbers. We're 7 weeks into it, and at least 50% of the group is gone. Gone. Paid their $1,000, couldn't even make it 7 weeks. Some people didn't even make it 1 week. Everyone started the program with good intentions, yes or no? And here we are 7 weeks into it, half the people gone. Every night on these calls, every day. You ought to feel for me. I am truly a saint. To listen to the nonsense that I listen to every day when we do role plays. I mean, talk about kindergarten. No wonder you don't want to prospect. If I sounded like you, I wouldn't want to prospect either. You have to work at this stuff. I tell everyone every day, you got to write out a script, be prepared to role play the script when we get online. Get online. Who wants to role play? Dead silence every day. Dead silence. So then I have to start calling on people. Okay, Charlie, you're up. Well, really, do I really have to go? Really? Can't I do it tomorrow? No, right now, go. Okay. That's not how you get better. Do you understand that? You've got to get on that call. You worked on your script, and when I say who wants to role play, your hand's got to go up first. You've got to work at this every single day. Going out and saying nonsense every day doesn't lead to business. Doesn't lead to business. One habit, prospect. What structures will keep you accountable in 2018? Your personal practice, meditation, time blocking, tracking your numbers, doing a monthly P&L, coaching. Do you have any of these structures in place? How many of you are part of the 8 a.m. call? Do you actually get on at 8 a.m. or do you get on at 8:04? Now, most of you are either silent or getting on late. Be accountable. And then finally, 3 big questions. How are you going to become a better real estate agent in 2018? How are you going to become a better CEO of your real estate business? Santiago alluded to that. And how are you going to make the world a better place through your real estate efforts in 2018? Take the time to go through those questions, and that will give you clarity in terms of what you need to do. Then you get on the performance coaching website. Anyone who doesn't have a username and login, email me. You go in under performance plan, you answer the questions, and it tells you what you have to do. Then every week you go through the weekly report every day, you fill out the report, tracks your numbers, put in every closing, tracks your sales, and at the end of the year, you've got all the numbers to create an ironclad plan. How difficult is that? Is that really that hard? Yes or no?